One day I'm gonna pick a name to call myself by because I guess Lee is fine, but that's technically not my first name. Um, and I know somebody named Lee, so it's almost kind of weird. However, I guess we'll go with that for now. Eventually, I'll pick something. But what's going on, guys? Today we're just gonna be going over kind of the season as a whole for the IBL season 4, and then maybe brush over what I'm planning on doing next regarding maybe YouTube or recording in general. So first of all, here's kind of the spread of how the season went. I had the 2 losses in the regular season versus the England Ampharos, and then the Karachi Kingdras, which Karachi's Uzi, who actually won the season. I didn't get to face him again because I lost to Toronto in the quarterfinals, who Zex actually then beat the England Ampharos, who beat me, and then lost to Uzi. So pretty much, I lost to 3 people throughout the whole season, but obviously I lost when it mattered most in the quarterfinals. But either way, just to kind of look at the plays, kills, differentials for each Pokemon, it's tough to look at because you see Nidoking with 2 kills per game, 20 kills. It came to every battle, and it took a lot of the kills. And so it really skews how everything else looks because I had the kill leader on my team. And so it kind of makes it a bizarre situation, to say the least, when you look at least kills per game. So I guess maybe differential might be more important in this situation. I guess it probably always matters more because who really cares? Unless you have a sweeper or something, kills per game is not super important. But yeah, so I guess we'll just go down the line. Tapu Bulu playing about half or close to half the games, 8 kills, 5 deaths. So it's a positive differential, 1.33 kills per game. I really like Bulu. I think competitively, it's my second favorite Tapu to use. Finny to me is a little passive, but I think the first time or the only time I've used it is in my very first league with Megaladios and Ferrothorn with Tapu Fini as a backbone. And I pretty much ran defensive every week because I didn't really know how to bring unique and interesting sets or different. Yeah, that. So Bulu to me though is super cool. Grassy Terrain is such an underrated ability, or I guess terrain. And really, I always have a blast using Bulu. That's the second season in which I've used him, and I just love it. I think it's a really good mon. Next up, we have Hydreigon with played 7 games, 5 kills, 2 deaths, 3 differential again. So not a huge kills per game, but I know when I first drafted it, a lot of people were saying I was just going to Choice Scarf Hydreigon every game because it has 98 speed, so it's just under that 100 speed tier, which kind of makes it a pain in the butt, speed-wise. And so for that reason, I did run it a lot as a support mon, outspeeding those lower tiered mons, lower speed tier. Having Taunt and Roost and Dual Stab was probably my main set, or still running U-Turn, but I think I Choice Scarfed it once, maybe twice the whole season, and at 7 brings. It's a really versatile mon. It's got an immense move pool, and I think bulky is actually a really good set for it. And so I really enjoyed it for that. And I definitely picked this mon up again. Silvally. Now this guy. Silvally surprised me, not in the sense that it's super good, but in the sense that if you have a team that you think is really good or well off enough without Silvally, you're hardly going to bring it. So I brought it twice. And it died in one of the games, and I don't think it even came out in the other one. I really thought Parting Shot was going to be a big asset to my team, Parting Shot into Mawile, but having no recovery on Silvally, and it's not the bulkiest thing in the world, and I think it more so was the fact that there was other Mons on my roster that would fit better in each game. Not that it's bad, it's just it gets snubbed so often. Like, I wasn't facing that many teams that I needed defog support, and I wasn't facing that many teams that, like, U-turn wouldn't work over Parting Shot. And, in fact, I didn't face that many teams in which I needed a bulkier steal, because Mega Mawile is actually really good for that. And my Fairy's Bulu, who's bulky enough, if we're honest, at least defensively, thing's a tank. I ran it, like, max defense a couple times versus, like, Mega Lopunny. And so Silvally to me is a great, like, patch-up mon, but not... And so I just didn't bring it a lot because I didn't feel like I needed to patch too many holes week in and week out. Next up we have a Zelf, which came to 5 games, 2 kills, 2 deaths. So really didn't do a whole lot. I don't know what to say about that because it was a tier 3, which I thought was low this season. However, you know, as much work as it put in is in very little. It's probably going to stay there. But it's very fast with 115. Can hit attack, or like hit offensively and especially offensively. And so I thought it'd do more, especially with the Z move. But I don't think once I brought like specs. No, I think I brought specs once. And maybe banded once. But I started to lean towards almost making it bulky with speed and then running like a Z move and rocks. Which, I mean, there's so many mons that can do that it really... I wouldn't say it was underwhelming because it still was a nice mon to have because I think it forced people to be more concerned for an offensive psychic type versus like my Slowbro. But I just... Again, it's skewed because I put so much damage in with Needle King that a lot of the other offensive mons didn't do as much as they probably could. One of its kills was exploding on a Volcarona. And I don't remember what the other one is. Komala. This guy was so close to OHKOing a muck with Choice Banded, Rest, or Sleep Talk Last Resort, and it probably would have gotten 3 kills that game. But instead, it just ended up with 1 this whole season. Komala, for me, I drafted it because there's a pivot plus Wish Pass plus Rapid Spin. And when I brought it against the Ampharos, I just failed to run it as a bulky mon with Wish, because I think I ran Spadef, but I kept it against Donphan, so that was just silly of me. Not enough HP to be a really solid Wish Passer. I don't know if I ever clicked U-turn on it. It's pretty much a good budget, like physical X-Bloud. I guess that's not budget, they're both the same price. But then you also get Rapid Spin, and I don't think I ever clicked Rapid Spin, like, all but twice. So, I knew this mon was going to be after, like, not bringing it for the first 3 weeks or something. I did bring it for 4 at the end, but it just was... I was asking too much out of a tier 4, and that was something that I kind of ran into the season prior. I was forcing mons to fit roles that they shouldn't. And in its own tier, Komala is great. However, when you're facing OU mons, Komala is not super bulky, and that's kind of its downfall. Either way, I enjoyed it, and I think it could fit on other teams. Just, and I'll kind of go over my team as a whole at the very end after all these mons, but it just wasn't the fit here, and I knew that. I was looking to trade it or swap it for most of the season, but I just never pulled the trigger, especially because like halfway through at week 6 I brought that Choice Banded Last Resort, and it actually worked, so I just kept it. Minior, this guy, as a tier 4 with 3 kills or 2 kills, 3 deaths, it could have also swept my Montreal had I known that Thunderous wasn't scarfed, but that doesn't matter. I think for a tier 4, it's bulky enough and it forced prep, maybe. I don't know if it actually did for anybody, but it's not. It's a great mon. And like I almost was able to use it to bring my game back against Zex. I mean, not really, but in the quarterfinals, pretty much any time I did, like I wasn't gonna bring it every game. It's a tier 4, but anytime I did, it very much had the possibility to sweep the team, and so that's why it's a really good. Like if there's nothing else to grab in tier 4, and especially in this season or this in IBL in general, where we grab 2 tier 4s for free, for me it was just a no-brainer because Rock is a super great offensive typing, and it's just what I wanted. Next up we have Manectric. Only played 2 games, got a kill in one of them and died in the other. Being that I pretty much just got it for the speed tier at 105 because the Zelf was 115 and the Silvally was 95. And so I wanted something in between those, and I wanted an electric type. And so Manectric's about the only thing. Because Raichu is 110 and I don't... Right? Yeah, it's 110 and that's too close to the 115. So... Plus, I don't know if anyone actually considered Manectric when looking at speed tiers, but it was nice to have. And creeping over the 100 is really nice because in like Life Orb, it can do some damage, depends on the ground type. Having the flamethrower overheat's actually pretty versatile, but again, I just didn't bring it because it's not strong enough or not bulky enough that it was worth me bringing it. Mega Mawile. I don't know what to say about it. 9 brings, 4 kills, 3 deaths. As a mon that's supposed to be this enormous breaker or big sweeper or cleaner with Sucker Punch, I did not use it that way. And I'm not saying it's a bad mon, even close, don't get me wrong, because I think it's great. It's just that it does not fit my playstyle, even remotely. Pretty much I used it for breaking and giving me a guarantee I will live 1 hit and I can deal 100% or like 80% back to any one mon that I'm facing. And so I did like it, and I would definitely draft it again. But I think I need more hazard stacking. Like, I thought that pivoting back into Maw would be the way to go, but then I just didn't end up doing that. like here I thought I made a team that was perfectly tailored for Mawile to take chunks. But I got 4 kills with it. And again, it might be skewed because Nidoking was picking up all the kills, and like Mawile could chip mons that Nidoking then could just punt away, and like, so I don't think it was a flop for the season, but definitely on paper, Mega Maw looks like it had a very disappointing showing for the season, having only 4 kills when it can pretty much click one button and get a kill every single game you bring it, and I think that worked well in my favor. Like, it forced prep for people to be more phys def, so Nidoking could sneak in, especially offensive, to get kills. And so I guess because I'm already talking about it a lot, we'll jump right into Nidoking, having 10 plays, 20 kills, 6 deaths, 14 differential. No one's ever surprised when you say like Nidoking's an absolutely fantastic special wall breaker, especially in Draft League, because you've got Earth Power, Sludge Wave, Flamethrower, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt. I don't know why I paused for a second. And it's just fantastic. Like, if you're outspeeding every mon that like it's going against, it's gonna do an enormous amount of damage. And it's really good. And so having that 86 or 85 speed, late game, it can be a fantastic cleaner. You can choice scarf it and still do good amounts of damage, but not as much as Life Orb, obviously. And really, it just put in so much work. Combination of like Bulu, And meanwhile, they had to prep so physically defensively that Nidoking could kind of just slip under the radar because it was a tier 3. And you could do toxic spikes or suck up toxic spikes, so you at least force teams to not bring toxic spikes or think about it more. And then you get stealth rocks. All in all, just an absolutely fantastic mon. Had a great showing for me, and I'd definitely draft it again. If they're in tier 2, it's harder to like convince myself, but really just Nidoking did all of the work, and most of it was certainly because I was trying to put up numbers with it. But yeah, Slowbro, 6 kills. Nope, 6 brings, 5 kills, 3 deaths, 2 differential. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about Slowbro. You slap on like a berry or leftovers or Rocky Helmet, and it gets regenerator, and it just stays throughout the whole match. It really, yeah, not a whole lot to say. I really enjoyed it. Super good defensive mon. It gives me a bulky water and a bulky psychic, and then I had an offensive psychic, and then kind of a jack of all trades in Wishy-Washy, which we'll kind of get into. But not a whole lot to say. But yeah, just a good mon. And then another mon who I thought would be brought more, but not, was King Keldor. 2 brings, 2 kills, 1 death, 1 differential then. And one of the games I brought, it was a big factor against Zex and in regular season. And I still stand that it's a fantastic mon, but again, it just didn't fit super well on this team. And that's a big thing in general, is that a mon can be fantastic, but if you don't build around it properly, it won't do that much. And that's the case. When I drafted this, I think it was my second to last pick next to Wishy-Washy. And so I was just looking for a bulky fighting type at that point, but the team's not built around it. It was just brought to build around everything else I had. And I think it did a good job there, or at least, like, again, it's a big threat they have to force prep for, even though I don't bring it all the time. And then Assault Vest is still super good. And I still love King Keldor. It's probably top 3 fighting types for me. And is very bulky. Just again, I think, yeah, I guess one more mon and I can go over the total. Wishy-Washy, 3 brings, 2 kills, 3 deaths. I don't even care. That's like one of like the bottom of the barrel mons if you're looking at differential out for my team. Like what, bottom 4? Yeah, -1 differential. Wishy-Washy was assault vested and could take hits for me in a good chunk of weeks. It killed an Alakazam with a single U-turn. The thing is an absolute monster, and to be down in tier 5, for me, that's almost a no-brainer pick every single season, because it is extremely bulky, and if you get a better Wish Passer than Komala behind it, you could be doing some chunks with the fish. I didn't go for Trick Room really, but it could, put up a showing in there. But Wishy-Washy is an insane mon. If you build like 25%, like to go below 25% is not that scary. If it's 50% where Schooling broke, I would never use it. But 25 is not that bad, and especially since I paired it with Bulu to get terrain back, really, you can get it like 3 hits off, because Wishy-Washy is incredibly bulky by default. If you just pump all your EVs into HP because it doesn't need speed, then you can just tailor the defense or special defense or the attack or the special attack, whichever one you want. You can just pump it into there and start picking up KOs or chunks or living hits, and it's got a great move pool with Ice Beam, Earthquake. Like, I really enjoyed using Wishy-Washy. That was my biggest surprise mon of this, in the positive sense, of the season. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. So we ended 9-2 with a 21 differential, and then lost in the quarterfinals to the semifinalist, the person who got second. I guess not a semifinalist, to a finalist, but who lost. And so as a whole, I thought the season went well. I obviously would have preferred to win it all. I mean, who wouldn't? But to get into the quarter, like for me, to get into playoffs every time, I think I'll be okay with that, because that just shows I had a good enough season. And like 1 week of losing, I still had that whole regular season where I went 9-2, and so I was very much enjoying my time during that. And so there's not a lot to complain about. I had a great time. Um, it's a lot of good guys and girls or whomever that I'm playing against, and really just it's a fun social league more so than a battling league. Obviously, I like the battles, but I'm not there to win every game. Like, and that's it. I'm also there to be social with the other coaches. And yeah, I think at the end of the day, I was trying to do bulky offense slash hyper offense, and while it could work, it just, I think it messed with my speed tiers too much, because it would be hard to bring Bulu, Komala, Conk, Slowbro all on the same game, because there would be just be, and then Mega Mawile, it'd just be too slow. And so I think that was my biggest thing. Not to mention, I've said this time and time again, but I don't thrive without a sweeper. I'm a tried and true hyper offensive player. I'd be willing to admit, even though I've tried to be balanced or bulky offense, but I definitely am more leaning towards hyper offense, and so that's why Nidoking got so many kills, is just because it was immediate firepower, which I guess Mawile is too, but and the speed combination. But I need a sweeper it helps me line up my win cons better, and I think that's true for most people. But to have a mon that, if it takes one turn to get set up, like a Alolan Muck after a curse, if it's max Spadef and stuff, like nothing can kill it, or a Dragon Dance from what have you, a Mega Latios, which Dark would hate, but either way, or Calm Mind, like just a one button and you can get going is a lot easier to focus. Like, here, I need to chip this mon, this mon, this mon, this mon, and I need to have rocks up or spikes up, or completely get rid of this mon. Like, it just lets you focus a little bit more on your end game. And once again, I didn't bring one. So, I mean, Minior, and I guess Azelf can be, and Mawile can be, but Azelf's too frail and Mawile's too slow. Because Sucker Punch got nerfed, obviously, this generation, so it's a little weaker, but either way, all in all, I'm super satisfied with the outcome. And I think at least this season helped me learn a lot. This is the first one in which I've tailored my EVs more than, ever. I used to just do, speed creep Amon at, max speed timid, and then pump full into, either defense or Spadef or attack or special attack, whatever it is, if it's in a wall or, a breaker, and then just put the rest in HP. However, in this one, especially Mawile, I think was a really good, training factor for me, because you hardly need attack. And so I was actually, each matchup, looking at how much attack I could use to either OHKO everything, or, two-hit KO, some of its walls, and then I could start going into defense and looking at, want to guarantee live an Earthquake from Zygarde, which, yeah, whatever. Or a Flamethrower from a special attacking mon. So I was tailoring every EV, and so the spreads were more than just 252, 252. And I think it helps a lot because it lets you go in with a little bit more knowledge or confidence at preview, that you're okay, I know that I can set up, or I guess not set up because I didn't do that, but I know I can click a move against this Hippowdon, and I know I'll live any hit, and I can just deal some damage back. And so, yeah, I think I learned a lot in this season, and I don't know what my playstyle is going to be next season, but moving forward, I guess we'll jump into what am I planning on doing next. So, first of all, we have this in-between league. We're going to do a mono battle, or monogen league that I'm taking part of with IBL, and we're gonna be doing that up and coming to Sword and Shield for like, I don't know if it's gonna be like a month season or what have you, just to let the meta balance out in Sword and Shield before we personally go in and make tiers, or maybe not personally, but before we make tiers and do our drafting, so we don't have the mons that are absolutely bonkers, like flying under the radar or not banned or in the wrong tier, and vice versa. We don't want really bad mons that appeared really good to just be in the high tier and then be super disappointing. And I know that's part of the fun, but we just want to let the meta balance out. So I'm not sure if I'm going to record the mono gen, but I might. And then I definitely think I'm going to record the IBL Season 5 on Showdown. Secondly, I have another league I'm starting in the APA Odyssey tier, which is a Showdown league. And I, again, don't know if I'm going to record there or not. So a couple things here and there. I'm still pretty free as far as like my life is concerned. I work like PM shifts as a nursing assistant, but besides that, I'm just kind of waiting for a year before going back to school. So I guess not waiting, but I have until August to kind of do whatever I want. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a little recap of the season. It was fun. Thanks everybody for all the matches, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. So I think I'm gonna end it here, and I don't know when my next video is gonna be. I don't know if I'm gonna start doing like Showdown tier battles, like just like random battles instead of draft league, but we'll see. So yeah, thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.